Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hi, Mimi.
Hey, Liron.
Oh, it has been
Good to see
so
you.
long.
I know.
2 weeks since we last
so
spoke.
busy.
No, for the last 2 weeks we just didn't speak at all. Because if we don't speak on the microphone, we just don't speak. Life has been busy, and TV and movies have not.
How is it possible that life is busy when we don't do anything or go anywhere?
I do things.
I do things.
Excuse me.
I do things too, but,
we do things.
we still don't leave the house hardly.
There's plenty to do in the house.
Well, and around the house. All the
Yes.
feeding of the critters.
Exactly. You take care of a lot of animals. But we have been busy. But really, TV and movies have been, it's the season, it's dry.
Slow.
It's dry in the pandemic. Now we're seeing more the results of the pandemic, right? By the way, if you can hear this, it's raining mad out.
It's been raining since last night.
So here are our stats for the last 2 weeks. We tallied 22 primetime shows, out of which written or co-written by a woman 15, 68%.
Very good.
And directed 10,
Not
45%. Yeah, not bad. And the first thing we have to tell you about, we're very excited about, it's the third Lady Parts TV Awards. So if you don't know from the Lady Parts TV Awards, this is our alternative to the Emmys. We find that the Emmys are very PR-driven, very political,
Same
very
shows
repetitive,
over and over and
very
over and over
boring.
again.
Right, so we like to do things a little differently. First of all, we've added a few categories that don't exist at the Emmys, and we have a new category this season for Best Actress in a Foreign Series. So that's exciting.
Well, yes, we're global. I think that we should, our TV is global, and I think we should recognize it.
Absolutely. I know that there's the international Emmys, but who knows about the international
Please,
Emmys?
I once did something. I read a play or something at the International Emmys in New York, and it was a tiny little event. I mean,
it's not broadcast anywhere. And I think just like the Oscars have a foreign category, the Emmys should add a foreign category. So we've added a couple of categories. We also like to choose nominees that are a little off the beaten track for the Emmys.
we don't do it on purpose. It's just that's what we watch.
Well, that's what we watch, and also there are certain shows that are never thought of. Some network shows that are never thought of that we think are worthy. Now we're just two people, so we can't watch everything, and we are notoriously we don't watch enough comedy.
No,
but we hope
we did
that
better
there's
this year, I think.
Yeah, well, and the pandemic affected some things, but we hope that you find.
That's our cat.
And that's a plane. Okay, we're just gonna have to talk through planes because this is
July 4th weekend on Martha's Vineyard, and people are coming. Unfortunately, fortunately for the economy, but unfortunately for COVID.
right. So there will be planes, and we just can't stop every time there's a plane. Anyway, so the most important thing about the Lady Parts TV Awards that's different from the Emmys is that you get to vote.
Exactly.
You get to decide who your winners are. And we've given you plenty of options because we also couldn't help ourselves. We never can help ourselves. And we limit our categories at 8 nominees.
And it's very difficult most of the time.
Right. So what you need to do, you have about 2 weeks to vote. The deadline is July 19th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So don't delay. Do it right now. Why not, right?
Unless there are shows that you can possibly watch that you haven't watched.
Right, but go get your ballot, see what the nominees are, because, I always tell people also to use it as a guide as to what shows you should be watching.
And a lot of these streaming services offer free trials.
Free trials, absolutely. So go check them out. You can also search on Lady Parts TV on our blog. Under all posts, you can search for any kind of show to see how we talked about it, what we said about it. And then you don't have to vote on all the categories, just the categories that you want to vote on or that you've watched enough shows at, and then just email to us. So you need to go to our website. Now, you can either click on the link in the body of the description of this podcast. You'll have a direct link to the ballot. Or at any time, you can go to ladypartstv.com. you have two options there. First of all, there will be a box that will come up on your screen as soon as you go onto the website, inviting you to click and vote. But if you missed that somehow, you can always go to the all posts and look at our latest blog entry. Blog, okay? So that's the Lady Parts TV Awards. It will be put it on your calendars. It will be broadcast, premiering live. We will be there to chat with you all. August 22nd, that's Sunday. And we will tell you the exact time very soon.
We have an excellent Wonder Woman
Yes, we have the
award.
Wonder Woman Award. Yes. Oh, it's very fun. We really enjoy it every year. So we hope you
hope you
join
do
us.
too.
We hope you join us. We hope you vote. We hope you make a difference because, don't moan about all your favorite people not getting nominated and winning. You have a choice. Now you
Yes.
can go and vote. Okay. And now.
Now, this is a new lesbian TV couple called Claire and Olivia. It's from a French soap called Ici Tout Commence. Here it begins. All begins.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, the couple is the divine, my beloved, the gorgeous and the subtle Catherine Marchal, who you might know from the French series Family Business.
Which we recommended in
yes,
the past.
it's on Acorn.
Yes, we're waiting for the second season.
Yes, hurry. And I don't know how to spell
How to pronounce.
Virginie. It does look like Cagliari as Olivia. And it takes place in a culinary art school. And it's all about chefs also. Both Claire and Olivia come from a line of chefs. They both own restaurants. Anyway, the way that this is done is a wonderful girl, a woman named...
her YouTube name is Peach Jelly, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Peach Jelly.
Yes, she is amazing. She has translated this, and she makes hilarious comments whenever.
Let me explain this a second. So, the soap opera is not available anywhere besides France to watch, right? So the way that we've been getting to watch it is the old fashioned way, the lesbian fashion way, when you have to go on YouTube and lovely lesbians who are doing it out of the charitable,
so generous,
kind, and the love of sharing and spreading the lesbian love. They take those little bits of scenes that these couples have together, and they put them together and they upload them. Now, because it's in French, we don't speak French. Many people don't speak French. So Peach Jelly, who uploads these videos,
she writes captions.
Right.
And they seem to be, from my little bit of French that I do know, very on the money, except when it comes to like one of the teachers in class explaining how to a procedure or ingredient, she says, cooking ingredients.
We don't care.
Teaching. We don't care.
Explaining how to do this.
Yeah,
explaining
we don't care.
how to do that.
Very, very funny.
But then when there are hot moments or where there are exciting moments, she actually puts her interjections in there, and it's so adorable.
She's very cute. And I have to say that I have avoided this kind of TV watching. I don't care who the couple is usually. I don't care. I don't want to know. I cannot watch scenes. I have to know what's going on. Not with this.
No,
I don't care about the scenes.
No.
Their scenes together are wonderful. They have very good chemistry.
Very good chemistry.
Catherine Marchal is one of my newish mad crushes. Oh my God. She's in her early 50s and she's blonde and cool and stunning.
And before you say, well, you should do an interview with her, we actually did reach out, and she actually was very kind and answered that she appreciates the offer, but she doesn't speak English.
Yes,
and since we don't speak French.
Right, and we pointed out in the
of course,
request
the interview
that it
would
had
have to be in English. Yeah,
and,
there's just no way we could have done it otherwise.
So she's very French.
Anyway, I think that so far they're doing everything right.
Absolutely,
with the storyline.
Absolutely, there's of course you've got to have someone who doesn't approve because they were both married women.
Yeah, they were completely straight.
Yes. And Zap. They knew each other for many years.
Right, they were friends.
And then Claire came to the school to do a class. Just it was going to be something limited.
Yes,
like a master class or something. And all of a sudden, lightning struck,
right.
and
And so far, though, I've been very happy that, because, in soap operas, I'm always afraid because they love the conflict, oftentimes more than they love, the happiness and the
No happy couples on soap operas.
Right. So, and I always say, there can be plenty of conflict while you're keeping the conflict with the couple together. And so far, from what I can see, every time they present us with a new obstacle, they have been able to deal with it very well.
There aren't that many new obstacles. It's mostly Catherine's
son,
Claire's son.
Yes.
Grown son, I might
but
add.
But every time's a little something you think, oh my God, are they going to go there? Are they going to go there? No, they did not. And now what I love most about this couple is that they are mature adult women. Yes. None of these kids.
And what I love most about
is Catherine Marshall. Anyway, we love this so much.
We're totally enjoying it. How many times? A couple of times a week.
Well, what she usually does.
Peachy.
What I've noticed is that usually on Fridays she uploads, because it takes time to translate and do all the things. So usually on Fridays, today I see that we have a couple new clips. It depends on the week. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. But anyway, I really want to say again a huge thank you to Peach Jelly and to the historical tradition of lesbians sharing the love with other lesbians. I've done it myself.
It's very sweet. And I do have to say that I'm finding it satisfying. I saw a trailer of this and I thought, oh gosh, there's so many storylines going on. Who cares? But it's
encapsulated.
It works just as their own story.
I'll tell you why I think so also, because I'm assuming, I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm assuming that a lot of the other storylines have to do with the kids in school.
Who cares?
Right. I mean, they're not kids, they're college kids, but still. So I'm assuming that because they're the adults, their story is separate from the other ones, mostly.
Right.
So that works. So anyway, this is Claire and Olivia. Go to YouTube, look for Peach Jelly, her channel, and be one of the many thousands who follow her.
Thousands and thousands. And she puts up some new scenes, and 20,000 people have seen it in 10
5 minutes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy Claire and Olivia from Ici Tout Commence.
Oui. Or we, as I noticed suddenly people are saying. All right, for you fans of Jack Irish...
or let's be real about it. For you fans of Marta Dusseldorf.
Okay, so you fans of Marta Dusseldorf...
Dusseldorf.
Dorp.
Oh,
I always do that. Why do I do that?
Well, because it's the German way.
Yeah, so. Okay. Anyway, she's Dutch.
She's right, but Dusseldorf, you say the German way.
I say
Dusseldorf
the German way.
is, I guess, the Dutch way.
Anyway, this is third season of Jack Irish. There are 4 episodes.
Yes, and it's premiering on Acorn TV, our favorite streaming service.
Right, we love them.
July 12.
Guy Pearce, who is Jack, Marta Dusseldorf, Roy Billing. Oh, yes, you'll know him when you see him. Aaron Peterson, who's in every Australian show.
Kate Atkinson.
Kate Atkinson, who we all know and love. And is hilarious in this. She is so funny. She's just adorable.
And it's even funnier because we think of her as Vera.
Yes.
So to see her in such a departure.
Such a departure. And she's always pissed off about something, but hilariously.
Yes, adorable.
And Shane Jacobson.
Now, I think the biggest problem with this season, which we have a big problem with, is that we're not going to read the synopsis because you can go and read it. But when I read the synopsis, because we only watched 2 episodes so far out of the 4, and there's a reason why we binge on these things and finish them in a night. When I read the synopsis, I'm like, am I watching the same series that they're talking about?
Because it sounds really interesting.
It sounds really interesting, yes. And I'm like, when did this happen?
So far, after 2 episodes, it is not really interesting.
And we loved all the previous seasons.
Yes.
And they do exist on Acorn TV, and we recommend them in case you haven't watched them. But this is the final season. And I think they're doing the worst job they've ever done with this show. I'm so bored. Even Marta and Kate can't save this.
But they're wonderful. They're wonderful individually in what they do.
But there's not enough of them.
But the whole is not up to their standards,
no,
unfortunately.
I'm confused, completely
confused. Even
confused.
Guy Pearce seems bored.
I'm very confused about what's going on. And the most important thing, I don't care. I don't have any investment in any of the storylines, and there are too many, I find, and they're not connected in a cohesive manner.
It's a kind of a confusing story. I don't exactly know what's happening.
It's supposed to, now that we're reading the synopsis, it's supposed to somehow be wrapping it up, going back to, I don't know if there was an original Jack Irish installment before Jack Irish actually happened, called Bad Debts. where he lost his wife. There was a murder. But this is supposed to be him going back and resolving it. But it is, and then of course the side plot, which I don't know if it will all come together. But I just find it so confusing and so boring. I don't know.
And it's about police corruption.
But it's not line of duty police corruption.
Line of duty police corruption, but that is part of it. And it's sort of like the Lincoln Lawyer, except he is a bar lawyer, a pub lawyer. He works out of a pub, Jack. I'm not saying don't watch it, especially if you watch the other ones first, and then come, to season 3 and see what you think. It's got such a good cast.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm just saying be prepared that it's not the Jack Irish of previous seasons. It's not as interesting. It's not as compelling.
And he has a son we didn't know he had.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going on that I'm not following. But anyway, we do recommend the first season.
Anyway, I'm not as bored as you are. I'm enjoying it.
Well, you
more
never
than
are.
You
I'm much more easily bored.
Yeah.
But Marta and Kate are gems, and every scene with them is delightful.
Yes, in a different way, but delightful. Jack Irish, Acorn TV.
July 12th. Okay, I don't know how much you know about us, but we love stand-up comics,
yes.
And it's, of course, the women. I don't think we ever watch men. So we have a new special to recommend for you. It's on HBO Max, and it's called Beth Sterling Girl Daddy. And I'm not going to tell you what Girl Daddy means because it's the last bit you'll hear in the whole set, and
exactly.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a funny bit.
So, and apparently, by the way, you can also just listen to this on Spotify, Apple Music, and those kind of streaming services.
That would be funny, but
it would be. But I would say watch her.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, she's cute, and
she's full of piss and vinegar.
Yes, and I think that part of comedy is also your expressions and your gestures.
Exactly.
So yeah. Anyway, you know the thing about when you're listening to things, you're probably doing something else, and then you're missing half the jokes.
Yes, no, you have to pay attention to her because she is subtle. I mean, sometimes she's not so subtle, especially when she's talking about sex, which to me is way too much sex talk. But as opposed to some people like Amy Schumer, it used to drive me crazy.
Yeah, or Margaret Cho.
Yes, or Margaret Cho's, which was
disgusting,
at some point although I used to
gross.
love Margaret Cho. It doesn't offend me. It's very funny.
Yes, I mean, usually
it's not offensive sex talk because it's about sex. It's just because it's like too much information. Who cares?
Well, and also usually it's straight sex, and I really, really, really don't want to know.
And this is straight sex.
Right.
She's not a lesbian comic.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That even though it's straight sex,
she's funny.
And there's a lot more.
A lot of insight. She's very smart.
She's so smart. She's so original.
Yes.
She comes at you with complete out of left field comments, this is the best thing.
A lot of deep left field, center field, right field.
That's the thing that I think makes a comic. Two things that make comics really, really good. One, they have to be really smart, and secondly, they have to have a completely original brain that puts together things that you never saw as belonging together. And she does that a lot. She's a very her set was very feminist.
Very feminist.
And there was much social commentary. That's the other thing I love about comics. We enjoyed every single solitary second of it. So we
laughed out loud over and over and over again.
So Beth Sterling, her special is Girl Daddy. I hope that we'll see many more specials coming out of this woman. Check it out on HBO Max. Finally, we have a review for a movie. It's called The God Committee. It's in select theaters and on demand now, premiering July 2nd, written and directed by Austin Stark. And it's starring Kelsey Grammer, Julia Stiles, Janine Garofalo, and with Dan Hedaya and Coleman Domingo.
Oh, I love.
And I'll tell you about the premise because the premise is actually
quite interesting.
Quite interesting. The movie doesn't live up to it. So in a New York hospital, basically a committee that has to come together within an hour to decide on who gets an organ that has,
multiple possibilities.
Has multiple possibilities and very little time left to decide because it's going to expire very soon.
Because it comes from somewhere else.
Right, someone who fell through and they have to give it to somebody else. And they have to decide who out of the people. And it presents all sorts of moral and ethical questions. Who do you give an organ to? What do you factor into your choice when it comes to age? What do they do in society?
Do they have a great support system?
Do they have family?
Have they
Can they
abused
follow
their body.
Right? Can they follow the regimented discipline that it requires to deal with an organ that's been? So there's a lot, and it sounded really really interesting because really I love the title of the God Committee. They are playing God. And to see who the people who get to make those decisions and how they make them. And of course, there's always money and corruption.
Always money and corruption involved. And in this case, it's not so much corrupt as it is there is money involved in this. And it does.
Well, it's money attempting to corrupt.
Well,
because
yes, but it's money for the hospital.
Yes,
which
but it's
is
meant,
sort of.
But it's a bribe.
Yes, of course. It's a bribe.
So that's corruption,
yes,
as far as I'm concerned.
Son.
So the first problem that I have with this movie is that we basically had two plots going on at the same time, two different timelines. One is this hour that they convene to decide, and one is in the future, not too far away future, but it is about the future of organ transplants. The same people involved, but it's about the future.
Well, mostly just one person involved.
A couple.
All right.
And the first problem I have is that in that second storyline about the future, there is animal testing involved. And that is something that I am not thrilled to watch. I am not okay with. And it basically it just shut me down for the rest of the film. But besides that, the subject matter is so interesting, but I think they really failed to deliver on the emotional impact we could have had for such a huge decision.
There wasn't enough time to make us, or they didn't have the facility to make us care about the recipients.
Well, first of all, they spent too much time on the other story, the future storyline, which was unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
And the second thing is that even in a short time, I feel that what they did was kind of, they need to care about that person. Let's tell them something about that person that will make them care. But it was like, I felt like emotionally manipulated. They chose the most obvious things. Instead of, don't tell me, show me. Show me why I should care for that person. There was actually, what did we say? We watched something. The boy who actually ended up donating the organ.
Yes.
We had about five minutes.
4 or 5 minutes with him, and we loved him.
Right. That was the first 4 minutes of the movie, and that was, as far as I'm concerned, the best thing that they did with the movie. We cared about that boy immediately because they showed us 4 minutes of his life and how he died. The rest, they never managed to replicate that with any of the other stories, people.
Well, I have to say I don't like Kelsey Grammer. I find him cold.
Well, he wasn't a likable character, though.
He wasn't a likable character, on top of the fact that I don't like him.
No, but he played an unlikable character, so it's not like you had to fight yourself to like him.
I mean, it's not that he didn't have some good qualities.
Yes, he was actually much more interesting.
As it got along, as it went along. I usually liked Julia Stiles, but she also was cold.
She played very cold.
Yep.
They actually played to type, except for Janine Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo kind of played to type too. And
Coleman Domingo was the only guy I actually liked.
I just love him. I find him so charismatic.
And there was a nurse. There was a nurse who was full of heart, and I liked her. And she managed to do a lot with her little role.
Yeah. But
I just thought that...
Well, she was on the God Committee.
Yes. I just thought that the movie really, really fell so short of its promise, which is a shame because it was really a good idea.
Very good idea. Good cast. I think it was the script. I don't think it was the execution.
No.
I think it was the script. I think they did the best they could with what they had.
So this is the God Committee. It is out there if you want to check it out.
Is it for streaming?
Yes, it is. It's on demand.
Okay.
So you can check it out. And before we go, we are really running over time, but Mimi did want to say one last thing. I did
want to say that we have gone back. We have it on our DVR, and every once in a while we have a half hour to waste. And we decided we watched Girls 5 Eva again. And we just sit there and laugh. It is a very odd little show. It's crass. It seems old-fashioned.
It's over the top.
It's over the top. But it's very clever. It's subtly very funny.
It's a very weird combination of contradictions.
And it's got a fantastic cast. Yeah. I mean, Sarah Bareilles is wonderful, and she does play. She and Paul Pell sort of play the least nutty characters. Yeah. Renee Elise Goldsberry is a very good sport because she plays a really obnoxious a very, very self-involved character, and Busy
Phillips.
Phillips plays Busy Phillips, as she almost always does. But it is a very funny show. If you haven't had a chance to watch it,
And I just want to say, when we said it was on our DVR, it actually is on Peacock.
Oh, yes.
But for some reason, at some point, it showed up on E.
yeah, it must have started off on E.
So no, I don't
No?
think so. But anyway, check it out. If you don't have Peacock, check E out and see if by any chance they're rerunning
Girls
it.
5 Eva. It is funny. You
And they have
don't
a lot of
to
funny
invest-
guest stars, too.
Oh my God! We just saw Tina Fey in something so brilliant. I can't bear it.
Then she's nominated for our Lady Parts TV
Yes,
Awards.
she
And here
is.
we come full circle.
Yep.
So check
Girls
it out
Five
as
Eva.
well. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us for another podcast. I'm not sure that we'll be back next week with another podcast because, again, slim pickings. But you have to focus now on voting for Lady Parts TV Awards, and we have to focus on
Absolutely.
making the best ceremony.
And by
for
the
you.
way, keep recommending things to us.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
do use some of your recommendations, and then since we're in slim pickings right now, write to us. Tell us what you're watching.
Absolutely. ladypartstv@gmail.com. And no, we're not watching Winona Earp, okay?
No, we're not
Okay,
watching
sorry.
Winona.
Thank you,
I tried.
everybody. Yes, we did. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful holiday.
Happy 4th of July.
And we will, and yes, reasons to be patriotic again,
Yes.
right? And we will be talking to you again very soon. We're looking forward to your votes.
Yes.
Bye.